Dolovina guia dolosana angito talitakini ana warong ng Bula FM e Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang ko tevita utunggoy 90 ando talitaka wale warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Nadang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Gatabo ando talitaka na warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 ana sir.
Good evening, this is FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Tonight, Queen Victoria School Thai level to be closed indefinitely after cyclone damage. Reports surface of traders increasing prices of goods on eve of cyclone, and chemicals test clear Thai level waters following sodium cyanide accident. Queen Victoria School in Thai level will be closed indefinitely. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says discussions are underway to establish whether international aid can be used to rebuild the historic school. Maggie Boyle reports.
Queen Victoria School lies in ruins. Severe tropical cyclone Winston whiplash in its historic foundations, making it uninhabitable. Its future, though, is now up for discussion. And Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says they're looking at what options are available to them to get the school going.
The Ministry of Infrastructure, PS, is talking to some donors to see if some donor wants to take that as a project on its own and therefore rebuild the whole QVS infrastructure. So that's the plan.
Established in 1906, the illustrious school began as an institution for the sons of chiefs. Its student roll includes past presidents and prime ministers of Fiji. Dr. Reddy says it's important to retain QVS's legacy.
QVS has sustained major damage, and this is an opportunity provided by Winston to do justice to QVS by constructing a top-notch infrastructure. QVS is a signature institution for Fiji. There's quite a bit of history behind QVS, and we want to do justice to that kind of brand name that QVS has.
With more than 60,000 students affected by the cyclone, the education sector is struggling to get back on track. The Education Minister calling for all hands on deck.
Message to the teachers is they need to get back to schools. The children who are a bit traumatized, they need to take care of them and counsel them. We want all our teachers who are involved in DISMEC work to immediately return to schools and prepare the school for classes to start from next week.
While classes resume for most schools this week, there are a few schools which were partly damaged that are expected to start classes next Monday. Others, still with more substantial damage, are expected to start the following week, with temporary classrooms to be set up. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Police have retrieved the truck which was carrying sodium cyanide and overturned into a waterfall outside Wainivo settlement in Thai level on Tuesday morning. Mineral Resources Director Malakai Finau confirms that there was no spillage of sodium cyanide. Water Authority of Fiji laboratory personnel have also conducted water tests during the last 48 hours, which has seen them clear the stream of any presence of cyanide.
Of spillages, tests continue to be conducted. There were traces very little amount at the crush site. But further downstream, I think it's because of the dilution effects of the tributary and the creeks, the values were very much reduced.
Police investigations into the cause of the accident continues, and the salvage container has been transported to Vatukola. Families in some parts of the country preparing for the onslaught of tropical cyclone Winston are crying foul over what they describe as an overnight price hike on basic food items and emergency hardware supplies. According to the Consumer Council of Fiji, they have received a number of complaints of this nature in the last few weeks about merchants who use the onset of the hurricane to profiteer on the misfortune of others. Shireen Shivan reports.
Profiteering by some traders during the tropical cyclone Winston 2 weeks ago left people struggling to gather essential food items and materials needed to strengthen their properties. During the time when they should have shown compassion for their customers, some traders were busy hiking prices and making excess profits from the emergency.
We have received complaints from Levuka, from Ba, from Nendi, from Latoka. We've received complaints from Suva, as well as Nasinu and Nosori area. And the complaints were similar in nature, that they went to the supermarket or the peri-urban stores or to the hardware stores. They found that the prices overnight went up.
Kumar said some consumers paid as much as $1 for one candle on the eve of the cyclone. A candle generally sold at 95 cents for a box of 8. The consumers were left with no or little choice but to purchase such overpriced items because they absolutely had to have them to prepare for the emergency.
It reflects that our unethical traders are trying to capitalize on the misery of others, and that's not the way to make money. And it's not that the public don't know, they are aware of what's happening in the marketplace, and that's why they're reporting the matter.
Some of these profiteering traders have already been charged by the Commerce Commission of Fiji. Kumar says companies who continue to overcharge on items will end up paying spot penalties of $10,000 to $300,000 and face prosecution. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama is touring the island of Ovalau. Immediately after arriving last evening, Bainimarama visited the community of Toko, one of the villages that was badly damaged by Cyclone Winston. He was briefed on the impact the cyclone had on the old capital and also saw firsthand what the people of the island were going through. The tour is part of the Prime Minister's survey and help for people who were left with little more than ruins by the severe storm almost a fortnight ago. There are 925 evacuation centres with 55,439 people taking shelter around the country. This was confirmed by the National Disaster Management Office Director Akapusi Tuifangalele. He says the Western Division still has the highest number of evacuees, with a total of 30,663 evacuees in 379 evacuation centres. In the Eastern Division, there are 332 evacuation centres holding 9,842 people, 155 centres in the Central Division with 12,090 evacuees, and 59 evacuation centres in the North with 2,844 evacuees.
For us, if we have these strategic assets with us that we can use to assist those that that they need it on the ground. For example, if they want to, for example, if the people of Nambalau they would like to send some items, and there is a boat available to do the strategic assets that we have that can be loaded on board, but they have to bring it over. It has to be registered so that and then we can provide for them. But otherwise, the normal shipping services continues.
The ration distribution in affected areas continues. Meanwhile, the death toll stands at 43. Still to come, New Zealand Army vessel latest to arrive with supplies and manpower.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakiriki Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marita Manako. I'm from Kandabu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. New Zealand's second largest multi-role naval vessel, the HMNZS Canterbury, sailed into the Suva harbour this morning, carrying tons of relief items and aid. Kelly Vavala went aboard the ship today and filed this report.
131 meters long and weighing 9,000 tons, the HMNZS Canterbury has 160 tons of humanitarian assistance. There are 300 personnel on board all ready to help in rebuilding Fiji.
We can provide emergency food supplies and water. We have the ability to project water ashore either via trucks or in water containers. But our primary focus once we get out and the initial food supplies are provided is actually reconstruction. We're going to target at this stage the National Disaster Management Office of Fiji has asked us to look at reconstruction efforts around school buildings, hospitals and medical centres. We also have a cargo deck that's got 45 vehicles inside it and 160 tonnes of humanitarian assistance and disaster relief stores.
Squadron leader and NH-90 Detachment Commander Ben Pryor says they have bought in 2 helicopters that will be operating overseas for the first time.
We bought 2 NH-90 helicopters, which are medium lift helicopters. They are both part of the task group. This is their first operational deployment out of New Zealand, so it's quite a significant moment for us to deploy them. They'll primarily be used in an air logistic support role, which will mean the movement of personnel or relief supplies and building material throughout the whole area of operations.
The multi-role vessel HMNZS Canterbury is carrying hundreds of tons of additional aid and about 300 personnel who will help in Fiji's disaster relief efforts. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
President Major General retired Tiochi Konrote today visited the island of Vanuatu in the Lau Group, which was severely affected by Cyclone Winston. Accompanied by government officials, including the police and army heads, Konrote saw firsthand the devastation on the island. He met with the affected villagers and spoke to them on what transpired during the biggest ever cyclone to hit the country. The president has been visiting a number of affected areas as government continues to put all its resources in repairing the damage around the country. All non-government organizations who wish to donate assistance for cyclone relief are to work with the Fiji Council of Social Services. The council is a government body dealing with assistance provided by NGOs, along with the help from the National Disaster and Management Office.
More than 50 NGOs are currently helping Fijians recover from the destruction of tropical cyclone Winston. AFCO's Executive Chair Maharaj says it is important that no duplication of rations occurs.
We are targeting by this Friday to report to NDMO in terms of how much assistance and what kind of assistance actually have gone to the ground through the NGOs. Now, although still in a state of emergency, there has been directive that before going out on the ground, all NGOs must report to the DO's office as well, so that the DO's office basically stock takes of what is being supplied in which area, and in this way, I think the aid will be effectively distributed.
NGOs have assisted those in need in different ways. Some have provided food, while others attended to survivors in terms of medical services.
We are very grateful for the assistance being provided by, for example, St. John's Ambulance. We want to take volunteers with us on the trucks to make sure that if there's any emergency cases for needing medical assistance, they are there with us.
We were able to reach out to 119 people in that community who are looking after the sky hydrant or the water filter, and they were really happy that they now have another option for them to have safe drinking water.
AFCOs and NGOs met today and discussed the challenges faced and steps to be taken to help Fijians in need recover from the disaster. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
Opposition leader Rotemu Mukepa says it's a time for all Fijians to band together as one, putting all differences aside in order to move the country forward from where it currently is. SODELPA opposition MPs have agreed to deduct 10% from their annual salaries and allowances to help those affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston.
The opposition office has stepped forward to show its full support for government's efforts in returning Fiji to normalcy.
Happily, they all decided that it was only right and proper for them to donate a proportion of their salary, and they decided it at 10%. And I'm very happy to be able to tell you that 10% comes to 77,000.
When asked on what opposition members have been doing for Fijians affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston so far, Kepa confirmed that they had a brief tour to affected western areas, including Sambeto, Lautoka, Ba, Tavua and Ra. She also made it up to Tailevu to see firsthand the devastation left by Winston.
We have our own members who are responsible for different areas of the country, mostly from where they come from. So those that have suffered in their own areas of the country, they have been visiting them and coming back with reports and also trying to provide some assistance.
The opposition are also calling for an extraordinary sitting of Parliament.
Attorney General, Minister for Finance, saying that they are pegging the amount that's needed right now at 1 billion, and with only 6 million that's provided by the 2016 budget, they will need reconvening of Parliament where we can re-look at the budget.
Kepa says that while the level of devastation has been both frightening and tragic, it's incredible and heartening to see the resilient spirit of the people, one she truly believes makes all Fijians stand out from the rest of the world.
The government vessel MV Vatulawa, carrying 117 tons of food rations from Bo and Dakandrove provinces, reached the Nambawalu jetty on Monday. 58.9 tons of rations were offloaded at the Nambawalu jetty for recovering villages and settlements in the Boer province. The ship then continued on to Savu with the rest of the supplies for those in the Dakandrove province. Another government vessel, the MV Iloilo Vatu, berthed at the reconstructed Waievo jetty in Taviuni yesterday, carrying 2 weeks' supply of food rations for the villages and settlements smashed by the storm.
We are thankful for the donation provided to us, and we are also delighted to see the vessel berthed at Nambawalu. I hope that those affected will be back to normal again in terms of rehabilitation.
Ratu Rambona says the food ration came at the right time as villagers were running low on food after their farms were severely damaged by Tropical Cyclone Winston. Sports now, here's Jamie with the very latest.
Thanks, Jackie, and good evening. In sports after the break, FIFA officials assess damaged sites. And Winston Hill one step away from Rio Olympics. This and more coming up.
मैं हूँ रेहान खान कुरबो तालेबू के जैसे फेस्टिवल आई ग्रेड है कुरबो में उसी तरह मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है कुरबो में
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
हम नकाशी से सामान है हमारा फेस्टिवल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है
माय नेम इज दिनेश हम नेंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लाइक इट
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
Since the announcement of the inclusion of sevens rugby at the Rio Olympics, competition on the World 7 Series gets tougher by the tournament. Now in one of the toughest seasons so far, Fiji, South Africa and New Zealand are tied on 69 points after 4 rounds. Vodafone Fiji Sevens captain Osea Kolinisau says his team knows the importance of the next 2 tournaments and wants to finish on top of the points table after the completion of this league.
It speaks for the series and the series is really tough right now. But we're telling ourselves that we want to stay on top of that series table when we come back in 2 weeks' time.
Meanwhile, the Las Vegas Sevens kicks off this Saturday with Fiji playing Samoa in their first match at 1:19 p.m. before taking on France at 4:20. And of course, you can watch the Las Vegas Sevens live on FBC TV. National boxing rep Winston Hill is one step away from competing in the Rio Olympics in August. His final hurdle is at the end of the month in China, where he and 3 other local fighters will compete in the Asian qualifiers. Charlie Daudakadaka has more.
After taking up the sport 2 years ago, Winston Hill made his first appearance at the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea last year, where he won a silver medal in the welterweight category. In his next step toward Rio, Hill will be joined by Sina Ruata and Paulia Siratu Jr. in Kinnan, China, where they only need to finish in the top 3 rankings to secure a spot in the Olympics.
From where we started, I had no idea that I was going to be qualifying for the Olympics or making it close to representing the country. This is a big step and come quite far for just somebody that tried out boxing for fun. I'm really glad that that happened, and I'm really excited about these qualifiers in China.
It's the first time that Fiji has come close to competing in the big leagues, a sign of how the sport has grown since the ban by International Boxing Association was lifted last year.
this normal boxing. They have got fitness, and they've got speed, and that's what we are trying to work on to face them when we meet them in China. Because as I've told the boys, there's nothing is impossible. As long as you believe in yourself, we're training very hard now, and we can do it.
The national boxing team will fly off to China on the 21st of this month for the qualifiers, where they will compete against the top fighters in the Asian region. Talento Takavaka, FBC Sports.
Officials from the Fiji Football Association and FIFA visited the Fiji FA Academy in Govind Park today to assess damages caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston. With damages estimated at $5 million, Fiji FA is hopeful for assistance from FIFA. Rohit Deo has more.
The devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston did not spare sporting facilities, and Govind Park in Ba was one of the most affected. Fiji Football Association officials with a delegate from FIFA visited the damaged properties.
It was a very good visit from FIFA, and I think so they're really concerned about Fiji's football's all the damages and everything that has caused with the Cyclone Winston.
Fiji FA is hopeful for a favourable reply from the world governing body.
With the genuine help, we hope that FIFA comes up with the funding that we are requesting to rebuild Govind Park and the facilities around it and all those things. And this, we hope for a positive end result. But on the first part, we thank FIFA for coming out and with the concerns to look at the damages that has happened.
FIFA, not making any promises as yet, has assured that they will lend their support wherever possible.
One of the recommendations from FIFA is to support the FA to complete a strategic planning process. And what that process is about is making sure that we're absolutely crystal clear about the focus, and that we make sure that when we think about decisions about FIFA funding, that they are the best decisions possible. And so that that strategic plan will really guide the decisions we make around FIFA investment.
As everyone await the start of repair works, memories of victories and heartbreaking losses are all that remains from a shattered Govind Park for its regular spectators. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Liverpool exacted revenge for their League Cup defeat by Manchester City on Sunday with a comprehensive 3-0 victory at Anfield today. The win has dealt a severe blow to Manuel Pellegrini's side's English Premier League title prospects. In other matches played today, Swansea City beat Arsenal 2-1, Chelsea defeated Norwich 2-1, while Manchester United beat Watford 1-0. That is your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Parents of those school children affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston do not have to worry about stationery. This as the Education Ministry today received $80,000 worth of stationery from the Super Bookshop. Donation of 466 cartons of stationeries, including exercise books, will provide much-needed relief to affected students. Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says the donation is timely and will be distributed to affected schools.
We're looking at the Vanvavalavu and Avalau and Koro Island. We have utilized the stationery packs from UNICEF. There's a lot going to Vanvavalavu maybe tomorrow for schools in Vanvavalavu. These stationery and the other NGOs we're looking at distributing in schools, affected schools in Ba, Tabu and Rekereki, including schools in the Kings Road.
Others who also contributed towards rehabilitation for school children are Save the Children, UNICEF and Live and Learn. Fine weather prevailed across the country today. Mombasa was the hottest today, recording 33 degrees, followed by Lautoka and Ba on 32, Suva and Nandi were on 31, while Sabu ended the day on 30. For tomorrow, brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, elsewhere fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. And looking ahead to Saturday, some showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Queen Victoria School Tailevu is now closed indefinitely after cyclone damage. Reports have surfaced of traders increasing prices of goods on the eve of the cyclone, and chemical tests have cleared Tailevu waters following sodium cyanide accident. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Bye for now.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Wulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.